Imagine looking at the most advanced defensive radar screen on Earth and watching the laws of physics simply erase themselves in real time. On July 10, 2026, the Pentagon was cornered into releasing its fourth batch of classified UAP files, and it proves that our trillion-dollar military infrastructure isn't just failing to identify these objects, it is completely helpless against them. This isn't a collection of blurry lights or weather anomalies. It is a terrifying ledger of physical entities mocking our understanding of reality, and the government had no choice but to let us see the footage before the truth completely broke their control. Welcome back to the Cosmic Unknown. Today we are taking a strictly analytical approach to the historic July 10th declassification. For years, the public conversation surrounding unidentified anomalous phenomena has been trapped in a loop of endless belief versus absolute skepticism. But the release of this fourth batch changes the rules of the game entirely. We are looking at official tracking sequences processed through the Persky Transparency Initiative, documents and infrared recordings captured by elite operators using cutting-edge military instruments. This isn't about chasing ghosts anymore, it's about analyzing hardware signatures. From shifting silhouettes over the Atlantic to impossible vectors in the Mediterranean, the data confirms these objects occupy our physical space. Let's look past the official press releases and break down the raw mechanics of what our military is actually tracking in the dark. Before we break down the incredible physics captured in these new videos, I want to invite you to join our journey into the void by subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on this video. If you want to dive even deeper into the classified files the government tries to obscure, think about becoming a member of the Cosmic Unknown community. Your support is what allows us to keep looking into the dark corners of our reality. To understand why this fourth batch has caused such a stir among aerospace analysts, we have to look directly at the telemetry of the two primary video files. The first is a 32-second infrared tracking loop captured in 2020. By the United States Northern Command over the open waters of the Atlantic Ocean. The official military paperwork describes the target as an asymmetrical, reddish-brown entity measuring between 3.7 and 4.6 meters in height. What gets me about this specific file is the complete lack of aerodynamic features. When you study the thermal signature, there are no visible wings, no traditional fuselage, no exhaust plumes, and no heat signatures that correlate with known internal combustion or jet propulsion systems. The object appears to be a formless silhouette, simply moving through the sky. The defense log states that the object was seemingly drifting with the ambient wind, showing no active tactical intent or sudden changes in altitude. Now, a conventional analysis would suggest that a passive, drifting shape is highly likely to be a stray meteorological balloon or an airborne piece of debris caught in a high-altitude current. But here is the part that always messes with my head. If this was merely an inert piece of floating plastic, why did it trigger the automated combat tracking sensors of a frontline military platform? These sensor arrays are designed to filter out clutter, birds, and civilian debris to focus exclusively on solid, radar-reflective targets of tactical interest. The system didn't just catch a glimpse of it, it maintained a solid, calculated tracking log. The fact that this video remained classified for years implies that its radar cross-section and thermal profile presented a mechanical anomaly that the military's own threat assessment algorithms could not resolve. It drifted through our airspace as a physical contradiction, a localized blank spot in our understanding of aerodynamics. But if the Atlantic anomaly represents an eerie, passive mystery, the second video from this batch introduces a level of kinetic movement that challenges our foundational understanding of mechanics. Recorded on October 1st, 2023 by the United States Central Command, this tracking sequence takes us to the eastern coast of Crete, over the Mediterranean Sea. The military sensor is locked onto a low-altitude target skimming just above the water's surface. As you watch the loop, the object performs a series of instantaneous changes in direction at angles remarkably close to 90 degrees. It doesn't slow down to turn. It doesn't exhibit the banking behavior required by any aircraft utilizing atmospheric lift. It simply reorients its flight path in a fraction of a second while maintaining a steady velocity of approximately 80 miles per hour. Within mainstream aerospace engineering, this kind of maneuver is a structural impossibility. A physical craft, turning at 90 degrees without losing velocity, experiences catastrophic G-forces that would instantly shred conventional aluminum or carbon fiber airframes, not to mention the biological limitations of any human pilot. Some defense consultants have tried to neutralize this file by suggesting the bug on the lens hypothesis. They argue that an insect flying mere millimeters from the camera sensor could create the powerful optical illusion of a distant object moving at high speeds and making sharp turns. It's a fair point to consider, and responsible science requires us to test every mundane variable. But I can't shake the feeling that this explanation insults the intelligence of the crews involved. Are we truly to believe that CENTCOM's intelligence apparatus processed, verified, and heavily classified a video file for 3 years because their multi-million-dollar automated tracking systems were fooled by a common housefly? The data was preserved because the instruments confirmed the target was at a distinct distance, interacting directly with the local environment. It was a physical mass operating under a propulsion mechanism that completely bypasses the laws of inertia as we know them. As we dig deeper into the analytical reality of this declassification, we have to confront the file labeled UAPPR-12. This incident occurred in 2019 over the eastern United States, an incredibly dense airspace managed by both commercial air traffic control and military defense sectors. The video shows an infrared sensor frantically trying to stabilize its lock on a high-contrast target slicing through the atmosphere. Throughout the recording, the system automatically cycles through various optical zooms and display modes, causing bright white flashes to disrupt the image as the software struggles to calculate the target's physical dimensions. Eventually, the object accelerates beyond the sensor's tracking rate and leaves the field of view. The official conclusion listed in the document is a single word: unresolved. This specific file has become the battleground for an intense debate regarding the parallax effect. Skeptical investigators and data analysts argue that the extreme velocity observed in the PR-12 video is entirely an illusion. Parallax happens when a fast-moving observer, like a military aircraft flying at hundreds of knots, films a relatively slow-moving or stationary object against a distant background. The rapid motion of the camera platform creates the dramatic visual impression that the target is screaming across the landscape at hypersonic speeds. Without knowing the exact altitude of the cloud layer, the speed of the host aircraft, and the precise angle of the lens, calculating the true speed of the object is a mathematical dead end. Some astronomers argue that until we can verify these numbers, the video holds zero scientific value. But here is the real analytical problem. Why is that data missing in the first place? When you look at the PR-12 footage, your eyes are immediately drawn to the margins of the display screen. The government didn't just release the raw video, they systematically covered the telemetry tracks with massive solid black redaction boxes. They intentionally deleted the altitude readings, the airspeed indicators, the absolute coordinates, and the sensor frequencies. The official line is that this extreme censorship is necessary to protect national security, ensuring that foreign adversaries cannot deduce the exact performance limits of American military optics. While that defense strategy makes sense on a geopolitical stage, it creates a total informational blackout for the scientific community. Harvard astrophysicist Avi Loeb has frequently pointed out that to solve the UAP mystery, science requires unredacted, high-fidelity data from instruments we completely understand. By releasing the imagery but censoring the underlying math, the government leaves us in a state of artificial ignorance. We are permitted to view the silhouette, but we are barred from analyzing the physics that govern it. This strategic withholding of data is a pattern that repeats across all 4 declassification batches. If these objects are truly just misidentified weather balloons, civilian drones, or optical illusions caused by ice crystals, why must the mathematical context of their tracking be guarded with the same intensity as tactical defense codes? The presence of those black boxes proves that the military isn't just hiding the nature of the anomaly, they are hiding the very tools that would allow us to analyze it. We are left staring into a redacted mirror, catching glimpses of a physical truth, while the system ensures the complete picture remains lost in the darkness. Perhaps the most significant analytical pivot in this entire release is the sudden inclusion of historical data from our civilian space agency. In a move that surprised many archival researchers, the Department of Defense integrated a series of photographs from NASA's winter mission in 1996, STS-80, flown by the Space Shuttle Columbia. For nearly 30 years, the alternative research community has pointed to these specific frames as evidence of anomalous activity in low Earth orbit, while official channels largely ignored the discussion. But under the current mandates for comprehensive UAP data integration, it seems NASA had no choice but to allow these records to be entered into the formal military tracking archive. The sequence consists of 3 distinct photographs taken by the shuttle crew as Columbia orbited hundreds of miles above the planet. The camera was directed toward the limb of the Earth, where the blue glow of our atmosphere gives way to the absolute void of space. In the first 2 frames, a highly structured, geometric, and pointed object is clearly visible just above the atmospheric boundary. This isn't a blurry smear of light or a transient flash. It exhibits a clear physical rigidity and a distinct reflective surface that catches the unfiltered sunlight of orbit. In the 3rd frame, as the shuttle's orbital trajectory shifts, the object becomes obscured by the intense glare of the sun reflecting off the Earth's surface, vanishing from view. The historical notation remains completely blank regarding the identity of this craft. It was never officially categorized as space debris, a discarded rocket stage, or a known satellite. The reemergence of the STS-80 photographs provides a vital piece of historical continuity that completely changes how we analyze modern UAP data. It suggests that the anomalies our military is tracking with infrared sensors over the Atlantic and the Mediterranean today are part of a phenomenon that extends back for decades, operating not just within our airspace, but within the freezing vacuum surrounding our planet. Scientists like Dr. Beatrice Villarroel have spent years conducting systematic searches of historical astronomical plates from the mid-20th century, discovering strange, transient points of light that appear and disappear before humanity ever possessed the technology to launch an artificial satellite into orbit. When you connect Dr. Villarroel's historical tracking with NASA's forced inclusion of the 1996 Columbia photographs, the analytical picture becomes far more profound. We are no longer just looking at a sudden surge of modern drone incursions or potential foreign surveillance assets. We are looking at an orbital anchor, a historical baseline proving that structured, unidentified objects have been operating in the near-Earth environment since long before the current geopolitical drone race began. This historical reality aligns with the growing tension we see between congressional oversight committees and the deeply entrenched intelligence community. The push for transparency is no longer satisfied with modern, redacted video loops. Investigators are actively demanding access to older, legacy files that allegedly detail long-term physical recovery operations. The inclusion of the STS-80 files in a 2026 military declassification drop feels like a calculated admission, a quiet acknowledgement that the phenomenon has been drifting through our skies and our orbit, waiting to be acknowledged while we spent decades looking the other way. Sometimes I think we underestimate how quiet the universe can be. We spend our lives looking out into the vast, indifferent void, convinced that our modern instruments have completely categorized every element of our reality. We treat our skies as a known equation, a predictable landscape governed by laws we mastered a century ago. But then, a quiet drop of declassified data forces us to confront the cracks in our certainty. The numbers don't lie, the military sensors don't lock onto figments of the imagination, and the historical records cannot be permanently erased. We are left looking at the fragments they gave us, staring past the black redaction boxes, trying to find a signal in the heavy silence that defines the modern UAP narrative. I don't know if we will ever be granted the complete data set, or if the truth will remain forever obscured by the architecture of national secrecy. But as we analyze the sharp angles over Crete, the silent silhouettes over the Atlantic, and the ancient phantoms in low Earth orbit, it becomes impossible to deny that something physical is sharing our reality. The darkness is starting to speak, and we have to be willing to listen to what the math is telling us. If you want to keep breaking down these deep, analytical puzzles with me, if you want to follow the data wherever it leads, please consider subscribing to the channel and leaving a like on this video. It ensures our voice continues to look into the unknown. And if you feel a deeper connection to this systematic exploration of our cosmos, think about delicately becoming a member of our community, where we piece together the files they had no choice but to let go. Thank you for listening, and until next time, keep your analytical eyes on the skies.